Do you believe in fate, destiny, or love at first sight? What about science and facts? Do you live a life where everything is settled and planned? If yes, then don't scroll up and let me share to you this one book that I guess you'll also love too.
Hello guys, for today's video, I will be doing a book talk for the book The Sun is Also Star by Nicola Yun. Well, for those who are curious, this video is a spoiler-free review, so you don't need to worry and I'm not going to spoil you or what. To start, let us know first who is the author. So if you are following Nicola Yun, then you should know that this is her second book after the release of Everything Everything last 2015. The plot of this book is summarized as following the lives of two youngsters named Natasha and Daniel. Natasha is a young Jamaican woman of color who has lived in the United States since she was 8 years old and really acknowledged that it is the only home she has ever known. However, Natasha and her family is scheduled to be deported back to Jamaica in the next 12 hours. Natasha considered herself to be a scientist. She is a very rational and analytical person. She believes in science and she doesn't believe in anything like love, faith, or God. She just believes in science, but I still find her persona as a pretty strong character in this novel. On the other side, we also follow Daniel. Daniel is a Korean-American child whose parents wants him to succeed. And by succeeding, they mean go to college, go to Yale, and pursue a career as a doctor. However, Daniel doesn't want that. What he wants is that he wants to be a poet. He is a character that is very light and fluffy character, so I guess his head is in kind of in the clouds. So it is really a meeting of two different worlds as they spend this one day together, and it's all about their experience during this one day as they fall in love and all the forces of the world seem to be against them while they were trying to overcome that. Moving on, the writing style of this book is another thing that I really like. Nicola Yun is a truly excellent writer who managed to strike the perfect mix between creative and straightforwardly simple prose. Yun's approach is simple for everyone to understand and uses metaphors to represent large subjects. So you don't feel like you need an English degree just to decipher it. Well, I'm not saying this because I was an English major student, but rather because it was relatively simple book to read while also addressing some significant issues. And there are two kinds of storyline that is going on here. First is about the romance, and the second one is about immigration, which was a major social issue during those years. These two plot lines were interwoven to create a tale that is both entertaining and amusing but also sad and reflective at the same time. Finally, this story is told from both Daniel's and Natasha's point of view, but it also includes sporadic details about minor or side characters who barely appear at all, such as the security guard named Irene or the chapter from Natasha's father's perspective. The novel is also filled with similar themes throughout, including love, multidimensional series, and abstract concepts and ideas that they just delved into. Aside from that, there are so many quotes throughout the novel that I assume readers would take time to stop and write them down because they were so simply, so significant and will undoubtedly hit you so hard. To the next, you may anticipate the romance to be a little insta-love, as the entire book's only takes place over the course of one day. But it is, in my opinion, one of the most naturally evolved relationships I have read about. Though it only lasts for one day, we still get to see a lot of things like how their relationship has grown and their lives in general, because these characters are so well developed that you really feel like as if you know them personally, or that you know them by the end, as if you saw their relationship over the course of lifetime rather than just one day. Going back to the characters, well, every characters have their different perspective and view in life. But I really see myself, or I have that connection with these two main leads that, like Natasha, I will also do anything I can just to get it. And there is also so much to Daniel's character that I can relate to, and I guess most of the reader would also feel the same. Moreover, the fact that they didn't try to alter the other person or try to change for that person, even though they are so different from each other, is another aspect of this story that I particularly admire. Just like what I have said earlier, that Natasha is a very practical, scientific girl who really believes in science, compared to Daniel, who is completely opposite of her. Because he is very much of a dreamer, a poet, and romantic who believes in fate and a big believer of love at first sight. But the two of them stick to those principles throughout the book. And even though they do mature together, they never compromise, or they never compromise who they are as a people just to win someone over. Furthermore, this book, The Sun is Also a Star, really deals with so many important issues like race, ethnicity, immigration, nationality, and religion. And it was amazing to be able to read all of these in here because they were so expertly woven into the story and addressed eloquently. In fact, even though the story only takes place over the course of one day, there are many discussions that this book really gives it to readers. So without a doubt, I'll give The Sun is Also a Star a 10 of 10 rating because it's really remarkable and it's really one of those books that when you put it down, it really makes you want to keep reading. Thus, I would absolutely suggest it to anyone interested in romantic fiction literature because this novel is unlike any other book I've ever read. And I really appreciated how the author alternated between characters to portray all different points of view throughout. So I really do recommend this book for you to read. That's all for my book review. Again, add this book in your reading list because The Sun is Also a Star is definitely a worth to read. Thank you and God bless us all.